Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Harebrained Games, The Week in Games. A weekly segment I tend to do apparently once or twice a year now. Life is different. I hope you're all doing well. I know it has been several months. I don't think I've done anything remotely interesting this year in its entirety, and yet it's almost May. And for that, I want to sort of give a little update on my life as well as the times and what my plans are, which, as everyone knows, the best of mice and men, they go awry at times, of Harebrained Games, and what I'm going to be planning on doing. I really appreciate all of you that have chimed in and kind of connected with me, both privately and on the station. I know it has been radio silence, and I am regrettable in that regard, and I hope to rectify that for the rest of the year. But yeah, let's get into it. So what is new? It is April 2025. The weather is finally sunny, albeit cold up here, but there's more to the story than that, so we'll get on with that. Life is different now, very much different. It was an incredibly dark time over Christmas. Can't even begin to say how much. It was a very difficult year, having lost my wife. The 12th of this month was the anniversary of her death, and it's been brutal in a lot of ways. Yet the Lord is good. More on that later. It's also been a year when a bunch of Kickstarters arrived all at once and deluged me right at the least opportune time when I could do something to do videos on them and such. But anyway, let's get to the news. Okay, I'm going to give a life update as part of my news. In December, I lost the jobs that I had. That sucked. As well as other things. I also had the darkness reigned in all through that time. I never felt abandoned, but I did feel low, and so I just didn't have it in me to do a lot of videos. That's life. That's the way it goes. So without income and without my wife, it was really honestly amazing the way that provision was made, and yet I was still able to get through it. But again, didn't have much time to deal with board games. At a certain point, perspective kind of dives in and grabs you with its talons and says, there are other things here more important. So here we are. In January, I made the choice to rent out a part of my house, and that was interesting. Really took that carefully and cautiously, but I rented it to my oldest daughter and her family and her husband. And what that meant was, on the one hand, that instead of being in a big house by myself in quietness and solitude, I'm in the lower part of a big house with no solitude or quiet, and I love it. I have my grandkids here every day. I get to see them every day, and it has not been a problem at all. I am so stoked about it. Also, in the middle to late part of January, an opportunity came up. A really cool opportunity came up to work with some of the best and brightest people that I've worked with for many years, who formed a company and got funding, and so that was beyond an incredible blessing. Very grateful for that. And so I've been doing that, and now, of course, that's ramping up. There's a lot of work involved with that. It's a small company with big dreams and aspirations, and that usually means, pedal to the metal, 11 out of 10. And so that's gone on. Nothing but so in all these things, you have the bitterness and the sweet and the bittersweet life going on. I did get a chance to go to Game On, a local game convention, and ended up having to work the whole time in the hotel room, but I was able to break away and meet a lot of people. Played one game, bought a bunch of games, sold a bunch of games, and then bought a bunch of games. But that was an incredible opportunity as well, just to kind of rejuvenate my soul. When you see people once a year and they're just fantastic people from all over the world, it was amazing. And then again, my previous boss had left to go away, and so I flew down to Arizona for most of February. Now, those who know me know I'm a heat person. I love heat. Really love heat. Arizona, heat. Even then, and so I was down there for the entire month. I didn't get a chance to play too many games, a few games, but not too many. And as you can see, very nomadic. So as I moved out, rented out part of my house, I also moved into my RV. And so I live in my RV. I have an office downstairs in the main house. I was down in Arizona, and so I became very nomadic. not pneumatic. That's just full of air. Oh, maybe I am pneumatic. And then as nomadic as well. But in March, I went back down and to again, and my boss and I talked. And we're like, why don't you get a small place here, cheap cost, and then just fly back and forth since you love heat so much? And so I did. So not only do I have a lower downstairs RV, I now have a small apartment in Phoenix. And so I've been going down there and then coming up. All the family's up here, but I like heat, so I go down there. I can tell you that my life is very different. Again, small, whereas games used to be this much of my day or my life, now they came down to this. But I knew that it would rise back up eventually when things settle. I've been a man who's been a person of constancy. I like constancy. I like the same setup, the same office, and as you can see, being downstairs, totally different environment. But the games are the same. And so that was another awesome thing that happened. I love heat. I can't tell you. Like being able to go out anytime, night or day, in the warmth of these old bones and running. I'm a runner. I run 5 miles a day on a run, and I ramped up to 4 runs a day. So 21 miles or so a day running down in Arizona. There's nothing like it. It's rapturous. So that was that. And then in April, which we're at now, again, I came back up here. I'm going to be up here for a while now to honor my wife at the anniversary of her passing, and just help other people who are also grieving. It's not just all about me. The kids, the family, the friends, her coworkers, everyone. No one's forgotten. No one forgot my wife. No one ever will. I certainly won't. But it was determined that my oldest daughter, who now is upstairs, and was going to give birth again, and so I'm going to be a granddad tomorrow. Again, for the 3rd time, and that is exciting too. It's going to be a lot of raucous, like craziness. So all of that to say that I have not spent a lot of time dabbling. I've kept in touch with and it's the goings and comings of the industry, but yeah, life is different now. However, I'm settling down. I've got my little apartment set up down there. I bought 2 copies of Fields of Fire, one for up here, one for down there. I know it's weird, and so I'll be able to play that game a lot. That's become sort of my consuming passion for the times that I do get to play it. And yeah, I'll have board games down there, board games up here. I'm getting it set up. A little tiny apartment. Anyway, so what's new in the industry? Enough of me. Industrially speaking, I've been pretty amused by the just the blast of duo games or dual games or games taken that turn experiences into a specific 1 or 2 players experience. We've got your King of Tokyo duel, which I played, your Seven Wonders duel, which has always been there. You've got your Lord of the Rings version of the Seven Wonders duel. You've got Takedo duel. You've got Quack's duel. Res Arcana duel. Am I getting dueled for this? No. I do find it amusing, which is fine because my audience, I don't have a large gaming group consistently anymore like I did. Although in the fall, I am really heavily thinking of rebooting a board game convention that I ran 10 years ago with a group in my church up at a camp, at an actual camp, literal camp with cabins and rustic food and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to that. Other news, lots of Kickstarters again coming in that I haven't even dealt with. I mean, all of these other than a few, a lot of these Kickstarters are just massive boxes, which amuses my grandkids to no end. I let them open the boxes so they can see what's inside. Like if it's got my name on it and it's a box, you can open it. So while I was in Arizona, they were opening up boxes and sending me pictures. Like, look at this, look at that, yay! Like, I mean, what kid doesn't love bright, colorful pieces, right? Especially when you're 2 and 3 and 5. So, and I noticed that there has been, to put it generically, some economic upheaval regarding the industry, and I don't have any real comment. I'm again, like, my life is so different that I get, I feel compassion, everywhere and everywhere. But I do think that in the back of my mind, I've always been concerned about the single point of failure of the manufacturing aspects of this industry, and so I am very curious on that, as if this is sort of a prelude of understanding of the reality of having most of everything be reliant on a single source, always been in computer, software engineering and stuff. SPOF is something always in mind, like avoiding single points of failure. Again, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens a month from now when I do my next week in games. And to be honest, I've lost quite a bit already on KSs that just went defunct, and so I'm not, I think the painful part is that I'm now in the dubious position, and I think you can all agree with me, that I'm now going to have to play board games that I already own, which, okay, kidding. Anyway, my life situation changed exactly at the same time that this pivot has been occurring, and so for me it's not as pronounced as it would have been in the past. For me 2 years ago it would have been much more of an impact than it is now, and it may ramp up to be so, but it is interesting. I'm watching curiously to see how things pan out with that. So enough of that, let's get to my question of the week. Okay, are you going to do a best of 2024 video, Tim? I do one every year. I just never publish them, because by the time I get to them and I realize that it's just white noise in a sea of best of 2024s, I just don't see value in them. And maybe someday I'll do one and I'll get it out and but if I did one every year, then that would be consistent. And if I wasn't so consistent at inconsistency, then really, who am I? But I may do a informal kind of discussion of games that I really liked last year, although, to be honest, last year my mindset might have been very different. I'm going to be ramping up videos much more heavily in the next few months as I sort of figure out how to do videos both here and down in other places. As I'm learning the nomadic lifestyle from being completely sedentary, it has been a change, but I think I'm adjusting. I'm getting better at adjusting to it. So really, because the real value of this is the people and the conversation, and putting out a video is not just for me going, hey, here, let me dictate to you, stuff about games. It's me going, hey, this is what's interesting to me, what's interesting to you, and getting that conversation going. And that's really the value of this channel. And I appreciate all of you who stuck around and stuff, and looking forward to hearing back from all of you as well, because I know a lot of you have stuff going on too. Anyway, let's get to playing, reading, and watching lately. Alright, what am I playing lately? Well, I kind of hinted at this already, but Fields of Fire is an all-consuming passion, and now that the new deluxe edition is out, it is ramped up in great ways. I'm going to be doing some videos on it for sure. It deserves it. I'm blown away. I played Fellowship of the Ring, the duel game. That one, some of my friends really got into it, so I like that. Baseball 2045, the very new deluxe edition, which is really basically just everything in the original edition just in one box. I didn't really need to buy it, but then I felt compelled to buy it because I like the player mats. I got my son-in-law upstairs really likes baseball, and so this is like a no-brainer. And then I'm trying to wrap my head around Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Age. It came in a box larger than the suitcases I took down with me to Arizona, and I'm fascinated with it, but I haven't been able to dive in yet. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I guess it's about what I'm playing lately, not what I think I should be playing lately but haven't. But there are some games that have come out recently. Distilled, dang, that one took me by surprise. I played a bunch of that. So anyway, that's it. As for video games, I've been really caught up in Avowed. Avowed is a mediocre game that I'm really interested in. It has just enough pieces that are done just right up my alley, and a lot of it's just not very good, but a lot of it's decent enough to... It's weird. It's very weird that I'm enjoying this game as much as I am, because if I statistically looked at it, I'd be like, no, this isn't any better. This is not as good as Assassin's Creed. It's not as good as even the Oblivion remaster. And yet somehow, someway, it's got enough of those hooks that I'm enjoying it immensely. That's what I'm playing for video games, as well as the one I'm working on now. But that's a secret. As for books, no-brainer here. I finished Revelations, Genesis, all the way through. I'm now reading, I'm now into 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, and Kings. I'm reading a book on Exodus called The Rational Bible Exodus, which is good. Not like anything you read, I don't read it because I need to see everything eye to eye, but it's good. There's a fictional a book called Facade from Michael Heiser, and then I started reading books by Bernard Cornwell. I read the Heretic series, which was sort of the search for the Grail in historical fiction. I grabbed his Arthur Britton's The Winter King, which is, I'm not sure that's going to grab me yet, because it takes the Arthurian legend and sort of inverts it to where the good guys are the bad guys are the good guys and stuff. But then again, his writing is so pronounced and amazing that who knows? I may find myself grabbing that. As for what TV shows, well, Reacher season 3, that I liked it better than 2, but not better than 1. I still liked season 1 best. I dabbled in a few other ones that just didn't hit me. There was one, Banshee. I only got a few episodes in and I had to give that one up. It wasn't drawing me. Bones, that was one my wife and I watched a lot of and stuff. But House, I went back to House because I was in a sarcastic mood. And if you're in a sarcastic mood, you're probably not going to find a better source for that than House. But yeah, that's about it. What about you guys? What are you guys playing lately? What are you guys reading lately? What are you guys doing lately? Yeah, let's find out. And let's get to Tumbleweeds of Time. Okay, Tumbleweeds of Time. The year is 1980. This is probably the last segment I'll do in the Tumbleweeds of Time, just because we've done it for quite a while now, and I might mix it up and stuff, but we'll see. Anyway, the year's 1980. Famous birthdays. Macaulay Culkin, as we famously know from many of his movies. Home Alone. I liked Home Alone a lot better than Post Malone, so there you go. Famous deaths. Colonel Sanders. Ugh, he kicked the bucket. And John Lennon. Popular slang was chill out, which I still use, and my kids still use. Popular fad was being a preppy, which I never could pull off in any degree because I was just too doltish looking to ever be a preppy. But I remember my preppy friends, and they are now looking very doltish. I don't think the preppy took. A popular pun was, my friend swears he's a 1980s pop star. I keep trying to talk him out of it, but he's Adam Ant. Ouch. The top song of this 80s time was Another One Bites the Dust. True classic. True classic. I remember being at Bible camp, kids camp, over in eastern Washington in the desert, and that song was playing all the time. The best sci-fi movie is a no-brainer. It's Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Can't get better than that. And the weirdest story was Leonardo da Toenail. In March of 1980, multiple female students at Southern California universities were complaining that someone had surreptitiously painted their toenails as they were studying in the library. Police dubbed the perpetrator Leonardo da Toenail. A man was eventually apprehended for this, and he was caught carrying 15 bottles of fingernail polish. They let him go because police hadn't actually caught him in the act. Unable to stop himself, he was caught painting a woman's toenails again the next year, and this time was ordered to a hearing at the city's attorney's office, but never showed up and was not seen again. That's weird on every front. Anyway, the popular board game in 1980 was Civilization. Anyone played Civ 7? I like Civ 7, but I don't think it's a Civ game. It just doesn't feel like a Civ game to me. Decent. It's TBS, but anyway. And how many aardvarks lived in Moscow in 1980? No one but the Russians know. Anyway. Alright, well that's it. I hope to be more in touch with you all. Thanks again for your patience and your endurance. God bless you all. Take care, and we'll see you next time on Harebrained Games.